Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Brooke Cormier. I'm a full-time artist, and maybe you already knew that. Maybe you've watched my last video and thought to yourself, wow, this is quite the change of scenery. And you're right, because I'm currently in Florida. You may know that I am in the process of moving to Vienna, Austria. So I'm basically just spending quality time with my family here in Florida before I get on over there. So it's just been a very nice layover. I thought that this little butterfly garden is just a beautiful place to film. I don't know what the sound quality is going to be like. There's a bit of cars going on over here. There's some golfing going on back there, but it's just me and you, okay? So
focus.
So today I would like to talk to you about how I stay productive as a full-time artist. I have been self-employed for 8 years now, and the biggest perk about being self-employed is the fact that, hey, you have a lot of freedom. You have freedom over your schedule, you have freedom over when you want to take your vacation days, you have freedom over what time you wake up in the morning, what projects you want to work on, the list goes on. And this is really awesome, and I have definitely been reaping those benefits the last 8 years, but it can also be very challenging as a semi-lazy person, such as myself. I am definitely a type B personality. I have trouble with procrastination. I am just like a little bit too laid back in some cases, and I feel like that doesn't necessarily help when you don't have a boss who's telling you what to do, and you're kind of left to self-conduct, to try to be as disciplined as you possibly can, but you also like to sleep in. I feel like step one in becoming a more productive person and more self-disciplined is defining your goals. I have had many periods in my self-employed journey where I have not had defined goals, and I have really struggled to be productive, because guess what? What's the point of being productive if you don't know what you're working towards? It's kind of, they go hand in hand. When I first started painting full time, the goal was just, okay, I'm giving myself a year to try to make enough money to become a self-employed artist, to be a full-time artist. And I was able to achieve that. And then after that, it was like, okay, I've achieved this goal and now I need to move forward. But I didn't really have any other goals in mind, and it wasn't really until last year, when this is coinciding big time with my Notion template that I developed last year, where I was like, girl, please, you need to get your shit together. I just didn't know what I was working towards. And I would wake up in the morning and I would be like, okay, what's going on today? And I would end up wasting a lot of time just dilly-dallying and not really knowing what I should be working on, what I should be prioritizing. So that is number one. You need to sit down, define your goals. I have used this template that I developed. My digital studio is what I call it. And this is kind of like where I keep everything together. There's where I've really defined my goals. I know what projects I'm working on that is going to help me achieve those goals. I have set out my priorities. I have my weekly to-do list, everything like that. I'm not going to go too deep into that because I made an entire video about how I manage my business, and I'll leave the link in the description if you want to check that out. But basically that has been like a huge help in keeping me on track and making me more productive and self-disciplined, because I wake up in the morning and I know exactly what I need to be working on. I know exactly what I'm working towards, what I'm trying to achieve, and that's what you need. So that's step one. Please take 10, 15, half an hour, a whole day, a whole week. Figure out what you are working towards. What is your goal? And you may have several goals. Write them all down and then prioritize them. What do you want to achieve first? Do it. And to add to that, motivation is so important in being productive, because if you lack motivation, you're not going to be able to be productive. So when you're setting your goals, make sure that you're setting goals that are realistic, because if you're setting unrealistic goals for yourself, you're going to feel really unmotivated and crappy about yourself when you do not achieve those goals. Back in 2020, I decided to make a series, and I set a goal for myself that I was going to finish this series. It was 12 paintings. It's called my 12-month series. I wanted to paint every single month of the year as I saw it in nature, and I wanted to complete this whole series within 11 months because I wanted to give myself 1 month to kind of like put calendars together and stuff. So that was the goal, and that was a realistic goal for me because I was painting full time. And guess what? I did. I achieved that goal, and I felt super proud of myself. Big old pat on the back at the end of the year. I said, yeah, you got this. Let's keep going. So just make sure that you set realistic goals for yourself. Very important. Another thing that really helps me stay productive is giving myself deadlines and due dates for all the projects that I'm working on. I find that I am a very deadline-oriented person. If I don't have a deadline for a project, I am going to be procrastinating like heck, okay? I am probably never going to get the job done because I'm like, oh, well, there's no due date, so why would I? You know what I mean? That has certainly helped me be more productive, and that's something that I always do, like in my digital studio Notion template. Whenever I make a new project, whether that's something like, oh, I'm going to make a YouTube video about this, I put a due date on it so that I can hold myself accountable and I can make sure that I am staying on schedule. So if you're kind of like me and maybe have a little bit of trouble with the whole procrastination thing, try doing that. Set deadlines for yourself. You know, you've figured out your goals at this point. You're setting up projects to achieve those goals. Give those projects some due dates and try and stick to them as best you can. Another thing I would like to add is that I feel like you gotta figure out and work within your own productivity rhythm, as I would call it. And by this I mean finding out what time of day you are most productive and doing your most important work during that time of day. So if you are a morning person, get your butt out of bed and start working on that painting that you had in mind. For me, I am most definitely not a morning person, and that is why I don't wake up early. And trust me, I have tried. I've tried to be a morning person. I've listened to all those podcasts, you guys, about waking up super early and hitting the gym and drinking all this water and stuff, and I've tried to be that girl, but I can't be that girl. I love my sleep. I need a lot of sleep, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm grumpy, okay? I'm grumpy. I don't want to really do anything. I do force myself to do things, but listen, I just know it's not my most productive time. So what I do is I save that time of day to do the things that I don't really want to do, the things that aren't that important, but kind of like things that I have to do. For example, answering my emails, or kind of like updating my sales and expenses, kind of things that are more or less mindless, don't take a lot of mental energy, don't take a lot of intense focus. I do that kind of stuff in the morning. So I wake up, I've got my morning coffee, and I get those things done. I also don't like doing those things. They are not my favorite part of the job. I think that's a productivity thing called like eat the frog or something, where it's like you get the thing that you don't want to do most done as soon as you wake up or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that that's what that is. And so I guess I do that. Yeah. And then I know that my productivity hours, my most productive hours, are from probably like noon, like 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. or later. So it's kind of like afternoon. Afternoon is when I'm like, okay, I'm awake, let's do this. And that's when I do my most kind of intensive work. So that would be working on a painting or editing a video, the stuff that kind of takes the creative juices that you need to get the job done. So that is what I do during that time. I would recommend you try to identify those hours for yourself. See when you feel the most productive and get the most important things done during that time. Don't force yourself to, be productive in hours of the day where you know you're not going to get good work done, If you're tired as hell in the morning and you sit down and do a painting, do you think that painting is going to really be that good? You know what I mean? So just think about that a little bit. It's worth pondering. It's worth kind of considering when you feel most productive and just getting the job done in those hours. Also, you guys, taking care of yourself is so important in being productive. And you're probably like, yeah, okay, Mom, we know we need to eat right. We know we need to exercise and meditate and all that stuff. Yes, you know what? You do. And trust me, I am no stranger to neglecting these things when I feel like I am too busy. And I feel like when I have a lot of work to do, probably exercise is the first thing that I am knocking off of my to-do list. It's like, oh, I have all this work I need to do this week. I have all these projects coming up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I can't go to yoga. I can't go out and have a walk. I have no time for that. And guess what? By the end of the week, by the end of 2, 3, 4 weeks of just neglecting my exercise, I feel like a dumpster. A big old dumpster. It's not a good way to be living your life. And I'm constantly reminding myself this. I'm constantly telling myself that I need to continue to just try to prioritize my physical and mental health, because I think when it comes to stuff like burnout, that's how that happens, is when you're neglecting your physical and your mental health. And it's not possible to be super productive and get everything that you need to do done and be so self-disciplined and you can't do all that stuff if you are feeling very down in the dumps, if you are feeling not good in your body, if you're feeling not good in your mind, if you're eating like crap and consuming too much social media and yada yada yada. So yes, I am going to be your mother, and I'm going to tell you, prioritize your health. It's important, okay? And yeah, I need to take my own advice a lot of the time, but I am trying to prioritize that more this year. And I feel like it really has improved my productivity. For example, here, I'm in Florida right now, sitting in this beautiful butterfly garden. Wow. I came into this vacation, I guess you could call it, with the mindset of, okay, priority number 1 is spending quality time with my family. I just want to soak up every last bit of quality time with them as possible before I move overseas. But if I'm feeling like it, I am going to get some work done. I'm gonna, allow myself to do the work if I'm feeling like I want to. And since I've been here, I've been spending so much time outside, in the sunshine, I'm getting all this vitamin D up in myself, and I'm getting so much exercise because I'm going on walks with my family and playing pickleball every single day. And I feel like I've come alive again. I feel so much better being outside, being active, and I feel like I've been super productive work-wise this trip. I've edited 2 videos. I've been I'm filming right now. It's currently a Saturday, and I'm just you know what? I want to film. It's nice weather. It's a beautiful setting. I'm just going to sit and have a chit-chat with my fam, my YouTube fam. And I think that I've found that a lot in the past, where if I'm feeling good mentally and physically, the work seems to come a lot more naturally. So if you are feeling like you're in a bit of a slump and you're feeling super unproductive and you have no discipline, consider just making sure that you are checking off the activity list, as in getting yourself out and active and eating well and all that kind of stuff, because I feel like it'll help. I mean, it's helped me, so I hope it helps you too. So you guys, to end off this video, I guess I just want to say that I am not perfect. I'm not a productivity and self-disciplined queen who is just slaying all of the time. It's not true, but I feel like over these past 8 years of being self-employed and painting full-time, I have picked up, some insight on how I personally find when I'm most productive and when I can really see progress in myself. And to reiterate, define your goals. I think that's the most important thing you need to do, is define your goals so you know what you're working towards. And what else did I talk about? I can't remember. You're gonna have to rewatch the video I can't give you the summary at this time. You may have been thinking this whole video that I've brought my tea with me, but listen, it's a Saturday evening and my sister-in-law made me a margarita to go. So I've just been enjoying that a little bit. But if you are sitting at home and drinking tea while you watch this video, I love that. I love knowing that we have been sharing a beverage together. Guys, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. If you have been working on something or just doing anything while we hang out today, let me know in the comments what we've been doing. Also, if you have any insights of your own on how you stay productive, I think it's really helpful for all of us in this little community that we've built to share those insights, and so that we can learn from each other. And I love when people have conversations around this. I think that it all helps. It helps us be better. And yes, I really thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you liked the video. If you did like the video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this more easygoing podcast style, where we're just sitting, chilling, and talking about all things artist life. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Brooke Cormier, and I'll see you next time.